Hey guys, welcome to my channel, So Ashley. In today's video, I'll be making a tote bag out of some old pants that I found in my large stash of old clothes that people give me to sew with. Anyway, let's get started. So first I went through this bin of hand-me-downs and stuff that I've thrifted, and I found these old pants with a hole in them that I can use for the outside of the tote bag. And then I found this weird little nightgown that I decided to use for the lining. So the first step was to create the pattern, so I just drew a rectangle that I think was about 13 inches by 14 inches. And then I cut 2 of those rectangles out of the lining fabric. It can sometimes be difficult to line the pattern up correctly when you're using reclaimed materials, so all you have to do is either cut apart the garment or cut apart the pattern and make it sort of a patchwork, which is what I did with the pants. I just cut the pants open near the seams so that it could be laid flat, and then I ironed out all the wrinkles that I could. And I realized how stained the pants were, but I just decided to ignore it. For the outside pieces, I just sliced the pattern in half and just made sure to leave seam allowance while I was cutting it. This way it will still match the size of the lining. For the front piece, I sliced the pattern in half again so that the pocket could be in the middle. The last thing to cut out was the straps. So I cut out 2 22 by 3 inch pieces. So I decided to sew together the lining first because it was just 2 rectangles, it should be pretty simple. But no, my sewing machine decided to spaz out and stop working. So I had no choice but to open it up and clean it. There was an incredible amount of dust inside, even though I have done this less than a year ago. But this time I decided to oil up all the joints and gears as well. I screwed the whole thing back together and tested it, and it didn't freaking work the first time. So I had to open up the whole thing again and move this one little sensor, and I finally got it working nice and smooth. So I sewed together the edges of the lining, leaving the top open. And then I cut a little square out of the bottom corners at about 1 3/4 inch. Then I matched the 2 seams together and sewed along that edge. This creates more of a flat bottom. Then I went ahead and sewed my denim patchwork pieces together, and I just added a top stitching detail right next to the seam, like kind of a fake flat felt seam. And here's how my front and back pieces turned out. Sorry about the lighting, I lost half of my day to my sewing machine, and it's winter. I sewed the straps 1/4 inch from the edge, and then I trimmed it down and used the safety pin to flip it inside out, or outside out, right side out. I ironed the straps flat and pinned them 3 inches from the outer edges, right sides together, and sewed that on 1/2 inch from the top. And then I just top stitched on the top edge. Then it was finally time to attach the 2 pieces together, so I did the same thing that I did with the lining, and I sewed along the outer edges and then went back and cut out the squares. To attach the lining, I just pinned them wrong sides together with the top of the lining folded under, and I just top stitched it from the outside about 1/8 inch or less from the existing top stitching. And that's the last step. Here's how it turned out. I think everyone's getting tote bags for Christmas this year, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you like how it turned out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.